In all of the wars of that half-century between the Second World War and Persian Gulf War, national media was there to report on battles and tell the major stories. So what benefit was there to having broadcast journalists from Iowa travel overseas, putting themselves in harm's way?
In terms of the reaction that we got from those parents and relatives of GIs overseas, it was the most phenomenal thing that had ever happened to that radio station. Now, it cost an enormous amount of money, but it built and held an audience like nothing else in the world would. Time after time, when I was in Europe covering the Battle of the Bulge and other actions over there, soldiers would tell me, and it was true, you can tell my folks back home more about what I am doing and where I am than they'll ever let me tell in letters I can write home.
When you see someone on the air, you have that connection, that instant rapport that creates a friendship, creates a relationship that is really kind of hard to explain. But having us over there, and even if we weren't talking to their particular loved one, we were talking to Iowans, and that created this bond, I think, that made it very unique and pretty relevant to them, and also gave them a chance to almost talk to their loved one through us.
And I think that we were able to give families a little peace of mind as to what they were doing, how they were doing. And we also, in some respects, gave some of these soldiers peace of mind as well, because they were able to tell their stories, and they knew that their families would be watching. And it was a good feeling for us to be able to do that.
A network reporter covers the big picture. I was covering, what are you doing, Joe Jones? You're from Cascade, or you're from Worthington, Iowa, Elkader. What are you doing out here behind these sandbags, a sandbag fortress? How long do you spend out here with this machine gun? That is the sort of thing that I think brings the actual war and the human being involved in it back to the people who know that person.
You got to tell a story that the audience cares about, and if they can't relate to it, and you can't answer the so what, why do I care about this, and it's no good. And these are the types of stories that people can relate to. One of our own, taken hostage by a ruthless dictator halfway around the world, and a precursor to the first war we'd been in since Vietnam. Yeah, in hindsight, there's a lot of history there.
So for us to go there and to try and focus on Iowans who were involved with this and bring that story home to people, to show people that they were okay, this is what they're doing, here's how their morale is, here's how they're feeling, provided a connection to the people back home that made this a truly local story for them, even though it was happening half a world away.
And I've never claimed for a moment that I in any way ran the risk of losing my life compared to what people who actually fought did. I watched the war rather than take part in it, and I'm always very, very earnest about that kind of a comment.
It is the job of the military to protect our country. It is the job of the media to tell the stories of those American heroes. From the Sullivan Brothers Iowa Veterans Museum in Waterloo, and from the Iowa Gold Star Military Museum at Camp Dodge near Johnston, I'm Jeff Stein. Thank you for watching.
But look, you Iowa boys, it could be on hand. What do you say we make it practically official and make a start by singing the Iowa corn song? Listen, Iowa, this may not sound good, but you can bet your bottom dollar these boys mean it. Here we go. We're from Iowa, Iowa, state of woman, joy on every hand, we're from Iowa, Iowa, let's play the corn road. Well, that did it. And as these boys wave their hands above their heads in the traditional ending of the corn song, they're thinking of those cornfields they'll see again one day when this job is done. But before they come back, I'll bet they sing that corn song in the streets of Berlin. Right now, it's goodbye and Merry Christmas from the Iowa men of Battery B, 110th Anti-Aircraft Artillery Gun Battalion, somewhere in Belgium near the German frontier. This is Jack Shelley, WHO's war correspondent, speaking, and I return you to Des Moines.